Hello and welcome everybody, and thanks for tuning in to another episode of The Top Shelf with me, Shantanu D. Today I have a very interesting pen. It's a Japanese company and it's called Sailor. And really, they're known for making some of the finest fountain pens and stationery items out there in the world today. Today's pen is essentially a Sailor 1911. Now, this is the box that it comes in, and as you can see, it's called the Moonlight Night. I suspect that's a translation error. It should be Moonlit Night in TL purple. I don't know what TL stands for, but then again, who knows? This is the box that it comes in. It's not the standard Sailor box that you get for, say, the Pro Gear or the other Sailor high-end pens. This particular pen is not a very high-end pen, but oh my god, does it write well and does it look good. Very nice, simple aesthetic over here. And inside, of course, you have the pen and the standard Sailor cartridges, which is two Sailor black cartridges and a little baggie for and instructions for how to fill the converter, and of course your other stamp of the retailer and blah blah blah, all of that good stuff. That's about it. That's inside the box. This pen came with a converter and two cartridges, as I showed you. The converter is in the pen. So without further ado, let's take a look at this beauty. This, ladies and gentlemen, is the Sailor 1911 Shikiori Moonlit Night. That's quite a mouthful, if you ask me, but hey, I don't name the names. In case you're wondering, Shikiori means 4 seasons. Now, this particular series of pens was a series of 4 to signify the 4 seasons, and I don't think that they're available anymore. I found them a couple of years ago at a fairly good price. And look at that, it's quite beautiful. It's got this beautiful purple color. It doesn't come across very well on the camera, but I think it's doing a decent job. Gold trim. The clip is slightly different from the other Sailors, but it still has that Sailor aesthetic. And the band over here in the cap that says Sailor Japan, founded in 1911. What else? This is a classic torpedo style or cigar shape or whatever you want to call it. I prefer to call it a torpedo style. But what I really like about this pen is that the way they have designed it and the way they have named it. Moonlit Night. Ooh, it does remind you of a moonlit night, and especially this finial over here. It's a beautiful little touch and contrast to the gold and purple, which goes very well. You wouldn't imagine having a little white, milky white finial over there to complement the pen so well. Really beautiful. Sailor really does put in a lot of thought into their pens, and you'll notice that the pen has a lot of sort of shiny and glittery material in it. This, of course, has sort of become synonymous with Sailor and their designs of late in the past few years, I would say. So let's open up the pen and take a look at it. But before we do that, just remembered size comparison. The size comparison with the standard Lamy Safari. As you can see, it is a smaller pen and it pockets really well, I have to say. It's very light and of course it writes like a beast. So moving on, let's take a look at the section and the nib. Now the section is the same as the barrel color, and I appreciate that, frankly. And this is a stainless steel nib. Looks like a gold nib, but it's not. It's a stainless steel nib. And as you can see, this particular one, as I like it, is a fine. It's on the side. I don't know if you can make out, but I think it's clear, yes. And the scroll work is on the nib is the classic Sailor scroll work with the anchor logo 1911. And at the bottom over here, you can't see it. I'll try to focus, but yeah, just barely. It says Sailor in the classic Sailor logo with the lettering. So that's that. Um, this is fed by a converter, as I'd mentioned, and I filled it up and I've been writing with it for some time, quite some time now. I really like it. I carry it around with me. It's a bit ostentatious for my liking, but surprisingly, I like it. You know, I think I like it because it's the way it's been designed, and it's not just only gold and shiny. It's also got a bit of a touch of class, as on the finial, as I had mentioned. Right, how does it post? It posts really well, not very deep, but I would recommend using this pen posted. It's very comfortable to write posted, and of course this nib, as you can see, I showed you a while ago, very little tipping because it's a fine. That feed is a nice chunky feed, and this pen really never dries out. Closer look there. Right, let's take a look at the writing sample now. I've done it in advance, and here it is, the Sailor 1911 Shikiori Moonlit Night. I'm using Tomo River paper, and always a good choice if you're reviewing pens. And there you can see, very good nib. The pen always writes, no matter how long it has been capped and not been used, and very, very reliable. That's, to me, the most important thing in a pen is the reliability of it after I've not used it for some time. You don't see that with all pens. You see it with Sailor, you see it with Pilot, but not always. You see it with TWSBI for sure, 110% all the time. TWSBI always writes. Okay, let's now do a quick live writing sample. This pen, you'll see it's a really fine nib. Let's draw some stars. Let's actually draw the moon, or my bad attempt at the moon, a half moon. Maybe a little more dramatic. Yeah, maybe that. And some stars over there. It's the moonlit night. All right, let's take a look at the writing sample now. You're watching the Top Shelf channel. Wonderfully wet, perfectly wet actually. Not too dry, not too wet. It's just perfect. Look at that. I mean, trust Sailor to really come out with a fantastic writing instrument, whether it is a gold nib or a steel nib. And frankly, that's the huge debate, but it really doesn't matter to me. If you ask me, I have some very good steel nib pens that write exceedingly well. What else can we do? Some essays, of course, and this. You can sort of squeeze a little bit, put some pressure. Wouldn't recommend it because Sailor nibs tend to be fairly firm. And yeah, it's a good little pen for quick notes to write in small places. Just to give you an example of how fine the nib is, if you take a look at these little smileys that I've drawn, they're quite small. So, you know, this nib is excellent for that sort of writing, and fairly comfortable for long writing as well. So that's pretty much it for this pen. It's really nice pen, as usual. Sailor hits it out of the park, and the consistency on the brand has always been really good. I thought I'd show you the pen on a white background. I don't know how this comes out, but yeah, there you can see it looks really nice, really classy. It's not a very heavy pen, and what else did I miss? Of course, the ink is Waterman Serenity or Florida Blue. And that's pretty much it. Please don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and share. And let's make this community larger. Get more people who are not fountain pen users into it. And thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Ta-ta.